let's cover retirement real fast, although the guy that asked retirement is gone. But
where'd he go?
As business owners, you can, well, if you've got a plan at work, a retirement plan at work, which I'm looking around, business owner, financial advisors, business owner, company guy. You're the 401k guy. You're the only one in here though.
Yeah, but mine doesn't kick in for, I've only been there 6 months, doesn't kick in.
I have old 401ks.
Right, we'll talk about that too.
Yeah.
So if you should, the rule of thumb is you should be saving 10 to 15% of your income, of your gross income. Okay.
At least 10%.
10
is if you want to live the lifestyle that you're living now in
and
retirement.
you're young enough to save now.
And if you do 15, that's extra icing on the cake.
Oh,
And your match is basically paying the taxes.
cool.
That's really what it does. It basically pays the taxes for when you pull it out.
If
What
you work
about
for a
what
company.
about a Roth 401k?
Well, hang on. So
Yeah.
so we're in this room. We're all young enough that 10% should do it for us. I mean, if you're 40 and you're just starting, you're in trouble, and you need to be doing higher numbers. But these are just rules of thumb, and it depends on what you're trying to accomplish as to if that really applies to you. I mean, maybe you need to do more if you think you're going to retire earlier, or less if you have other sources or other things going on. The 401k is a pre-tax way to save. So it's basically deferring income until later. That's kind of the concept behind a 401k. So if you're saving, 5–10% of your income and you're deferring it into your 401k, that's, if you're not paying taxes on it now, you pay taxes on it later when you pull it out. You pay taxes on that plus the growth. If your company, and that would be you, if your company is doing a match, you better be contributing up to what they're matching, because that's free money and you're crazy not to do it. It's free money. It's 100% return. Free money. You don't get that anywhere else. Beyond that, if your single income is under, or it's right around 100,000, or your joint income is under, it's like 160 something ish, and those numbers change every year, then you should be contributing to a Roth IRA, especially everyone in this room, because we're so young here. So what's the difference in a Roth? Well, Roth 401k, same concept. A Roth is an after-tax investment, so you don't get to, you don't get to save your tax money today, but it grows tax-free. Whereas a 401k grows tax-deferred. So if you contributed $5,000 a year today to a Roth and $5,000 a year today to a 401k, and you were saving $10,000 a year in each. So they would grow, similarly, hopefully. And then when you pulled the money out later, all of the 401k money would be taxable to you, including your gains. Where the Roth, none of the Roth money would be taxable. So if you're 50, a Roth may or may not matter to you because you don't have all the years for the tax-free growth. But if you're in your 20s or 30s and you're not doing a Roth and you have the ability to, and I hear about it, you're going to get chastised.
So it's like paying taxes on the seed, not the harvest.
Yes, correct. You pay taxes today, and the idea is that your tax bracket today, especially when you're younger, is probably, I mean, if you're in a category where you're allowed to contribute to a Roth, then your tax bracket is low enough to handle it, basically. So for those of you that do not have access to a company 401k, do the Roth first, do it today, do it now. You still have time to do it for last year. You have until you file your taxes to contribute for 07. And it's the best thing going, and I will lecture about this because it is the best thing going for young people in terms of retirement. And if you can do nothing more than that, and you're trying to focus on how do I pay off credit and how do I do other things, the Roth is the way to go, because the idea is that at some point your income is going to be too high and you can't do it. So do it now, do it while you can, try to get some money into it so that by the time you get to a point where you don't have the income, or you have too much income, boo-hoo, to be able to contribute to it, that you actually have a sizable amount of money in the Roth to make it worth maintaining.
How much per year can you put on?
In 07, it was $4,000. In 08, it's gone up to $5,000, and it's $5,000 is supposed to be indexed for inflation, so, and it'll bump up in $500 increments, but it's probably $5,000 for the next handful of years, I would say.
What about if you own your own business, like a self-employed person, the new Roth solo 401k?
The solo K is great. So if you, The Roth is kind of the first thing, and right now the max on that is $5,000 a year. If you're 50 or over, which nobody here is, but it's $6,000 a year. But when you get to the point where you want to put more than that away, that's when you should start thinking about other kinds of plans. So you can set up your own 401k. You can set up a SEP, which is a simplified employee pension, which is your own. You can set up a simple IRA. Depends if you have employees or not. So there are a bunch of factors you get into when you want to set up a plan. If you're a single employee person, you don't have employees, setting up a single person 401k is a great vehicle, and then you can put away $15,500. Your maxes just go up, but it doesn't sound like we're ready to talk about that in this group.
My question though is, and this is an interesting thing I haven't gotten a straight answer for. Let's say, for example, like you get involved in some stupid network marketing thing, you know, that you actually have a tax ID number for and so on. Can you set up?
Yes.
You can.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an advantage to doing one of these dumb little Amway businesses in and of itself. Arbonne? There you go.
Yeah, it's its own business.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Just kidding.
So you could take that now to contribute to the plan though. It has to be earnings from that business.
You have to have earnings.
Does
Yeah,
it have to be earnings from that business, or can
Yes.
I take money from my mortgage
From the
company
business.
and put it into that?
Well, you have to show that business has its own tax reporting,
Yes.
and if that business doesn't show, you can only defer what you're earning.
Okay, so let me ask you. This might be too complex, and I'm sorry. What if I invested in my company, in this other side company, and I use the investment capital?
It has to be earnings.
You gotta
You have to have earnings.
earned
Thank
income.
you.
Sounds
You
like
have to
you
have
need
Has
to
to be
set up
earned
appointment.
income.
Yeah, it sounds like that's exactly what I
You
need
have
to
to
do.
have earnings, and you can't get full earnings from something that does. It has to be earnings from that business.
To save in any retirement plan, it has to be earned income.
Thank you.
Same with an IRA.
IRA,
If you
all
don't
that
have
stuff.
income, you can't contribute to an IRA.
So you'll
You
go
can't
to
use a credit
some,
card?
like I've been to a seminar before where a guy has said you just open an IRA for your 5-year-old, and then, you know, he was doing all this other stuff, and I'm like, you can't do that because there's no earned income. So people
Unless
will
you
tell
hire-
you that
you
you
can
can
hire
put money away
See,
for
that's what
other
I'm saying, I
people.
haven't
It
gotten-
has to be earned income. And
That's
if
what-
you don't have $5,000 earned income, you cannot put that away.
But if you had 1,000 earned income, you can put 1,000 away. If you had a business and the business earned $1,500, you can set up you wouldn't want to do that because it's too expensive. It costs at least $100 a year to set up a 401k. If you don't,
But $100.
it depends. I mean, if you can only save 1,000, you don't want to pay $100 a year. You're paying 10%
Could
of
you
your
pay
money
your
just to
kid
set it up. Yes.
to wash cars?
Yes.
And then now they
Yes.
have their little.
And you can set up Roth IRAs for that.
Do they contribute
Brilliant.
100% of their? Yeah.
That's actually a really fun thing. My parents set up an IRA for me when I was 18.
God
And
bless
this is
them.
these parents that were these crazy school teachers. And by the time I was 25, I didn't even know they were doing it. So when I was in college, I had jobs and stuff. My dad would find out what my dad always did my taxes when I was a kid, a 22-year-old.
Yeah.
And he would contribute as much as he could based on my income in my IRA. And when I was about 25ish, I found out that this was there. And then he kind of turned it over to me and said, hey, you need to take this on from you. Actually, I think I was 23. And I started doing it, so it's great because I kind of had a leg up, and then it was an encouragement to do it for myself. So I didn't start in this industry, but all these little things that were happening behind the scenes really encouraged this industry, so I did something else for like 8 years first. But it's a great business, as you guys know, or will know.